Hello, my astrology friends and family. This is Lada from Astrological.com. And today I'm here with the beautiful Krasi Attasio, Sidereal astrologer, who is in Iran. You can see by how she's dressed. Hello, my astrology friends and family. This is Stop the streaming. But yeah, Krasi, what are you doing in Iran?
I am here to visit especially the astrological ziggurats, Wada. Ziggurats, they have two. One in Shusha, which is near the Iraqi border, which was a temple exactly when they were watching the king and they were watching the sky, the astrological ziggurats. And one...
Was that was that ancient Babylon where Iran?
This was Elam, the land of Elam, which were actually the enemies of the Babylonians. They destroyed Babylon. These were the enemies. Yes. Wow. And there is also one ziggurat, which is, I'm in Tehran now, which is 3 hours driving from here. Tomorrow we are going there. And yes, I came to search for illumination, Wada.
Wow. On the steps of the ancient astrologer. So Krasi, we're talking today about the sidereal perspective, about the 12 signs and the whole world. What is to come in September? Sidereal, just to say, is astrology used by the ancients, that the signs, the 12 signs, they have the same names of the 12 signs we use nowadays, but they're based on the actual constellations.
Yes, we'll do the usual predictions. We'll see each of the 12 ascendants. Just what was interesting, Wada, and I wanted us to mention is what actually happened happened just a couple of days in August, because it will have impact on September. So we need to mention this. One was the great triple conjunction. Everyone spoke about this. It was this conjunction between Uranus, Mars, and Rahu. And actually, only a couple of days after, we had Malika Yoga, very rare situation where all planets are in a separate sign. Starting from Saturn in Capricorn, we had Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Pisces, Uranus in Aries, Mars in Taurus, Venus in Cancer, the Sun in Leo. I think at that time the Moon was in Gemini. Everyone was in different positions. It had different sign. Very, very rare configuration. And what was very lovely, our Sarah reminded me, our Sarah, that actually, because I was thinking when for last time this rare conjunction happened, so rare, I had to put this because, in Iran, they can take you in the police and I'm on a public place if you're not covered. I was saying, no, I'm not going to wear it. But then 2 policemen said, you have to put it. So, yeah. So just to tell you.
Let me hide it.
Please, look. So actually what I understood is that 324 BC, Alexander the Great reached Shusha, the same area that I just mentioned, where you had the ziggurat in Persia. And 1 year later, he died. The same year when the same triple conjunction happened. So it was turning point in the history. Who was greater than Alexander the Great? And during his rulership, this conjunction happened and turned upside down his rulership. And we have this happening now. A couple of days ago, I think you spoke about it. Many people spoke about this, but it was after that we had Malika Yoga, exactly that rare. I don't know how many years ago this happened. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, this yoga.
So you were saying that actually the ancient texts in Vedic astrology, they say that 7 of the visible planets are in 7 different signs. This is, for example, who has this? The Dalai Lama has this, 7 planets in 7 signs. And they say that such people have great potential for they're spiritual masters of some sort. I've seen I've met just one person who has this in real life, actually. It is very rare.
I think it's very rare, yes. extremely rare. And actually, I was researching this a lot, and I noticed some Indian Vedics would say Rahu Ketu count as well. Others would say we don't count Rahu and Ketu.
So I have not seen
even
them.
if we
Yeah, if you
exactly,
count,
but we do. Yes, the thing is that this one now is starting from Saturn. They count, you know, from which sign, where it starts from. And when it starts from Saturn, you can imagine how transformative, deep core, transformative this would be. And when we look at people's horoscopes, transformative, especially for people who have Capricorn ascendant sidereal or moon there or Capricorn in key position. Actually, what is important to look at, and we will do when we do briefly, very briefly, but just that people have idea, when we look at the 12 ascendants, is where this thing happened in your horoscope, this area will be triggered, but not in a bad way. It may, because it starts from Saturn, it may start a bit too intense, maybe negative, but it should turn into something useful, good lesson, positive, you know, for the personal horoscopes. So
how long is this active? Because it happened already, but Krasi is actually offering a special reading that she thinks it's so important, that shows what the impact for the next years, or what will be with this Malika yoga in your personal horoscope and the triple conjunction of Uranus, Mars, and North Node. How long are those influences?
Wada, you
so
know,
rarely. It happened
yeah,
once,
exactly.
happened 2,500, 300.
Exactly. But look what I think. We cannot isolate only the Malika yoga. Look why. This is crazy. Wada, we had great conjunction. Jupiter, Saturn, we had great conjunction, Saturn, Pluto. We have triple great conjunction. We have Malika yoga. I mean, everything as a combination is super, super important. We need to take them all into consideration. Saying this,
so in this chart, in this reading that you're offering only for 8,
I will look at all of them. No, we have to look at all of them.
Cycles that have started in a person's life and see how they would impact the world, or it will impact their own life for the rest of their life. So
yes, and I believe this is a long-lasting energy, because we have the trans-Saturnian planets taking part. We have Saturn taking part. This cannot influence only 1 year or 1 September of our lives. No way. You know, this is something which will be, it is like our decisions. The decisions that we're making now will impact our lives for the next 30 years.
You know what happened to me? The Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction happened in my 4th house. And I was like, well, nothing big's happening with my family, always normal. And out of the blue, I found I have another brother, who is older than me. And my dad didn't know either, but the DNA test showed it, and we got in touch, and we're all kind of shocked, but he looks exactly like my dad. It sounded really big for me. So,
what?
like predictions, and I'm like, what big surprise. We'll see.
What? This is big. This is
wonderful.
big.
So, yeah.
It is wonderful, but also it's a turning point. Also in your family. Oh my God, this is very serious. Yeah, it is very serious. Very, very serious. To me, look, how crazy. When this happened, we were traveling to Iran by car 4 days, and I will be seeing exactly Shusha, you know, when Alexander the Great was, my God, it's astrology is shocking, Wada. You know? Yeah. Yes.
So
well,
if you want to have a read with Krasi to see how those big cycles that started from 2020 and they're continuing will influence you personally, big discount from $140 to $80. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what September brings us.
Yes. September, to tell you, the most uncomfortable situation of September, actually, which shouldn't really scare us, but just make us a bit more, well, careful is the very long transit of Mars in Taurus, and Mars will be staying in Taurus 8 months, a sidereal Taurus. And this is the main uncomfortable planetary position for the month of September, including this great, I will call them great conjunction, which took place in August and will certainly impact our future. Saying this about Mars, you shouldn't be afraid of this, because there is this very big thing about Mars, that Mars we can be in a trouble from Mars only if we are kind of, if there is a ground for this. It means you're prepared, you're careful, you make decisions which are not impulsive, and then Mars can actually work in your interest. Mars can be a very good drive. So knowing about Mars being in this detriment position is meaning that we should be very careful, not being impulsive, not being angry, but just try to, try to live in harmony with ourselves. Especially influenced will be the people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, or tropical Gemini, or Taurus on a key position, and of course people who have sidereal ascendant Leo, because Taurus is, and Mars from Taurus will be squaring the ascendant. So this is just very brief before I start speaking about the 12 ascendants, just to remind you, we're looking from sidereal perspective, which means that we're looking at the sidereal, your ascendant or your moon sign, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, then this will be, we'll mention this as well. Starting from Aries, sidereal or moon in Aries, this would be your tropical or modern astrology Taurus. Now, people who have sidereal ascendant Aries, actually for them, this is very important, transit, because actually Mars, who is ruling them, is in the second house in Taurus. Why this is very important? Because if they rely on this typical martial soldier-like for drive and impulse, Mars may make them be a little bit more strategic, and they will be driven to more driven to finances, and then there they may need to be very strategic and not impulsive. This Mars also shows in September, but later as well a little bit, that you may need to be very diplomatic also with family roots, family members in general, because the great conjunction took place on your ascendant. I call this great conjunction, maybe it has another name, but the one that took place in Aries with Rahu and Uranus and Mars, indeed, this is turning point in terms of your decisions, your personal choices, maybe to a degree will have impact on your relationship. But September will be interesting, more strategic, not bad financially, but you have to be careful what financial decisions you make. In addition, the first appearance of the moon for you, depending where you are, but can happen in the last degrees of your 5th house or in Virgo, and may show emphasis on health, routine, just can make you very busy. In general, I don't think that the month is bad for you, especially from the beginning of September almost to the end. Venus will be on your 5th house, and this will be fine for finances, for creative activities. So the month will be very interesting, but your decisions, your harmony, your impulsiveness to be in harmony with yourself, this is the key. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or this will be the modern tropical astrology Gemini. Now I mentioned already, Mars is on your ascendant, and Mars is in a bit disharmonious position on your ascendant. However, because Saturn makes a trine, Jupiter sextile, I don't think that you're in any trouble, but you may be a little bit too, you see, you may be a bit Mars can bring disharmony in your thoughts, in your relationship, but can make you also very practical because of the trine of Saturn. So this is actually very good. So on the other hand, the key here is to study, to do spiritual practices, spiritual activities. So this could be very, very helpful. But Mars can have impact on your relationships. So there you have to be diplomatic and loving. So this is a bit the point. Venus is coming in September on your fourth house. This is fine. This will have good impact on home, relationship with parents, even career. So the key is what? Love, spiritual activities, maybe on your social circles, friends, and creative activities can be very, very helpful during this not very short transit of Saturn on your, of Mars, excuse me, on your ascendant. To study, to teach others, this could be very good. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant, Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, excuse me, please, this will be Cancer. Now, interesting and very beautiful for you, Mercury becomes visible and exalted in your fourth house in Virgo. Beautiful, because this is your ascendant ruler, so could be very good timing for you for media work, teaching others, starting new study, maybe even travel. This will be very benevolent. Also career-wise, or something with your home could be good, because Jupiter at the same moment is in Pisces, and he's actually, Jupiter is in Pisces, and he's actually in his own kingdom, as you know, and he's aspecting your ascendant. So it means that he is in very, very benevolent function, very helpful function for you. So on the other hand, the fact that you have in September Venus in the third house, I'm recording, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Excuse me, please. So Venus in your third house will be trining the ascendant, sextiling, trining the seventh house, sextiling your ascendant. Actually also good for your personal life, for agreements, for communication, for travel. This will be very, very benevolent. So I think you're in a quite lucky position during the entire September for media work, for your career, teaching, studying, even your personal life. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant, Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if we are looking from the modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. For you, the first appearance of the moon for September is in will be in your either in the last, depends where you're located, but in anyhow, it will be an emphasis on media, communication, travel, relationships with brothers and sisters, with very powerful Mercury who becomes visible and exalted during September. So the emphasis for you could be teaching, negotiation, trade, travel. So this would be very, very interesting. On the other hand, Jupiter is making harmonious aspect from your ninth house. Exactly the same thing, travel, study, teaching others. This could be very benevolent. And nothing new, Saturn is still in Sidereal Capricorn. You're familiar with these energies already for 2 years, very transformative for agreements and for your romantic life. So in this sense, the emphasis for your month is mainly this communication, travel, like all that I mentioned now. The disharmonious points are more in friendships, gains. Financially, you may need to be a little bit, how to say, not impulsive, very diplomatic and think twice. But in general, the month will be, in terms of media, commerce, communication, will be very good for you. Now, and this turning point, which I mentioned, actually is happening on the 10th house, can have interesting impact on your career. very intensive changes this may bring in the future. And now we're looking for people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if we're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. For you, the moon appears most probably in Virgo, very strong, financially fine, good in terms of commerce, negotiations, but you may experience a bit of disharmony in relation to career. There you need to be diplomatic. The turning point is happening around mainly in relation to your spiritual searchings. Could be that you really experience temporary disappointment and then you find something very useful, very good for you, which will have impact on your future. Also, could be that you experience disharmony related to your studies, school, but then you find something better, you know, like that, because all this happening on your ninth house. But in general, having the sun on your ascendant in September, having this powerful position of Mercury, you know, I think the month will be quite good in terms of even financially, but be careful how you communicate with superiors, your career place. There you may experience some disharmonies, but in general, the exalted and visible Mercury in your second house will be positive financially. Now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be ascendant Libra. Now, for you, first appearance of the moon on your ascendant in September, exalted ascendant ruler and visible on your ascendant, super for your personal plans. Then Jupiter is also very powerful, even retrograde, but still in seventh house. This is very, Jupiter Mercury opposition is a big thing in terms of agreements, personal plans, negotiations, new knowledge, studies. Could be very, very interesting, could be very intense. So you may need to be diplomatic with partners, agreements and all this. Mars, even fallen is trine in your ascendant, which is good. It can be very practical in this sense. And can give you drive to study in a very strategic way, research. So this I don't see as a bad, the fallen Mars doesn't have bad impact on your horoscope. So also because Saturn and Mars are in a trine in September, which is exactly very practical from your fifth house, fine for finances, fine for structuring your goals, fine for organizing your, let's say, what you want to achieve in terms of knowledge, in terms of creative activities. So very interesting, very intense month of September for you with results. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be ascendant Scorpio, Libra. Now, Venus rules you beautifully, and Venus comes in your 11th house in September. In Leo, very strong. She has there certain dignities, aspecting by 6th house your ascendant, very good. For your personal feelings, for friendships, communication with children, even finances. This great conjunction happened on your 7th house. This may have impacts on agreements, financial changes, romantic life. So be very, very balanced, very diplomatic, careful with your relationships, agreements in general. Mars, this fallen Mars that I just mentioned about, is on your 8th house, which can have impact exactly on the finances which you generate from partnerships, the finances of your partner, your drive to occultism, secret knowledge, spirituality. So there you need to be very balanced, very careful, not impulsive. Everything will be fine. But in general, I think that the good position of Venus for the month of September will be having very good impact on your horoscope. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. Now for you, Mars, your ruler, is just against your ascendant. This may bring eventually disturbances in disharmonies related to your personal choices, your personal feeling, your personal harmony, your relationship, your romantic life agreements. There you may need to be a little bit careful. So, but in the meantime, Venus on your 10th house is very much saving you in September, helping, because she's in a quite powerful position, helping your career, communication with superiors, plans. So this is a very helpful in the situation. The moon appears for the first time in Virgo, and Mercury appears visible also in September in Virgo and is exalted on your 11th house. Fine for the finances, fine for your plans, fine for your social circle. Just be careful with your relationship, with your romantic life a little bit. Now, and agreements and contracts. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Jupiter, like he will be until April of 2023, your ascendant ruler is beautifully placed, even retrograde now, in your 4th house. He can bring you peace at home or some good gains related to properties. In addition, the first appearance of Mercury in his exalted position is on your 10th house, quite fine and intense in relation to career plans. You know, career plans. Maybe you have good news for projects, opportunities, negotiations, communication, you know, this is very strong. On the other hand, Venus will be on your 9th house in Leo, trining the ascendant. This is also very good in terms of, again, same negotiation, study, travel, sharing your knowledge with others. Mars is falling on your 6th house. Be careful for risky situations, like take care about your health. Any conflicts in your routine at work are also something to be aware of and be a little bit careful. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. Now for you, Saturn, who rules you, is still on your ascendant until end of January of 2023, nothing new. But this beautiful big trine between the first appearance of Mercury in Virgo, fallen Mars in Taurus actually can be very productive for you, for your plans, creative projects, creative studies, negotiations, travel, communication, commerce. This could be very, very interesting for people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn. Now, this conjunction that we spoke about appears on your 4th house. Be a bit cautious when it comes to communication with children. This can bring changes related to property, real estate. Don't be impulsive, be careful, balanced, and diplomatic. So this is more or less about people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn. Now, people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius or tropical ascendant Pisces. So for you, Capricorn, who rules you, nothing new, is still, of course, retrograde in Capricorn. You're aware of this and you know how this influenced you during the last 2.5 years already, how powerfully this influenced your spiritual growth, awakening if you want, personal choices, health in a way that maybe, depending on how Saturn is positioned in your horoscope, You experienced certain health, maybe disharmonies, but after that, you were able to maybe find a good solution. Jupiter remains in your second house to be very helpful financially. And now even Mercury, who appears visible, exalted with the first lunar crescent on your 8th house, can be positive when it comes to unexpected finances, money by a partnership, the money of your partner. So this will be very good. Be a little bit cautious when it comes to decisions related to property. At home, be a bit cautious because Mars fallen is on your 4th house. When it comes to communication with parents. On the other hand, Venus in September will be on your 7th house, very good, because she'll be very strong. Good in terms of personal relationship, your romantic life. So she will have a very, very good role, beautiful role on your 7th house. Now, let's look at the last ascendant, Pisces, Sidereal or Moon in Pisces, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. As you know, until end of April somewhere of 2023, Pisces will be, Jupiter will be in Pisces. So strong, so beautiful, really very nice, sextiled by Saturn. This is very good for organizing your finances, organizing plans, friendships. This is quite positive. Be a little bit cautious when it comes to decisions related to travel, communications with brothers and sisters, how you communicate, how you negotiate, how you do trade because of the fallen Mars in your 3rd house. But good thing is that Venus in September will be in your 6th house to support your health, to support your routine environment, to support just your routine everyday plans, administration, and work. Moon appeared on your 7th, will appear on your 7th house with the visible Mercury also in Virgo, which is very powerful. Could be very interesting when it comes to communication with your partner, partnerships, agreements. This can bring solutions to agreements that you were expecting, or this could be something very good for you and very practical. Solving agreements, solving negotiations, solving results from court cases. This can happen in September. Just be careful how you exactly negotiate. Be very diplomatic and careful, but you're lucky with this Jupiter on the ascendant and Venus on your 6th house for the month of September. So ladies and gentlemen, this is about it. Just to remind you, because we had in August this very, very, very powerful, Malika Yuga that we described with Wada. We had this great conjunction, Uranus, Mars, Rahu. This can have impact on humanity, like sudden anger, sudden change. So we have to be we have to do, I think, a lot of spiritual work. People who meditate, to meditate now is very good, to be able to find balance, because this is very strong martial energy. Rahu is very Uranus. So I believe that if we are very spiritual, very try to find balance, we'll go through this just easy without drama. Because I learned recently, Mars can be dangerous if we give him reasons,
If you didn't, what?
If we give him the reasons, then Mars can act and cause problems. If we're very careful, very balanced, actually Mars can be only a good drive.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Krasi, again. Thank you everyone for joining us live. And if you'd like a reading with Krasi, she's doing a special promotion on a reading of the current cycles, which is 40 minutes. Turning points, that's how the reading is called, turning points in life.
Turning point.
Wonderful. And I hope you discover what you're looking for.
Oh, I will tell you what, I can't wait.
I hope you get some downloads.
Oh,
astrology secrets. And everyone ahead, I hope you have a wonderful September.